There we go. Whoop, covering the camera too much. How's that? There we go. Good morning, artists. Sorry about that. I had my clip over the part of the camera by accident. I was trying to get it. Never mind. It's no big deal. So happy Friday. It's the end of another week. We got a weekend coming up. It's going to cool down. Hopefully feel really nice. Your project is due today, so make sure you get your outline-inspired project turned in, where you've outlined an object and then went and filled it in and either colored it or did some drawing on the lines for it. Okay, so make sure you get that turned in. If you're having any trouble, make sure to either contact me on Google Classroom or email me. Either of those is fine. And if you need a little extra time, as always, you just got to let me know and just make sure you get it in. Okay? So today we're going to continue working on, we're going to finish up our Lady Jupiter and then start a new character. I'm kind of excited. I'm not sure what's going to happen with her yet, but we'll see. I have some ideas though. I have a few ideas. So let me spin you around and we'll get to it. There she is. I also wanted to show you, I thought that you'd kind of get a kick out of this. This was, remember I had my little pencil that pencil that needed to be, it was taped to this one. These two were taped together. So I pulled the tape off because it was finally just coming apart. This is all that's left of my pencil. Just this tiny little piece. So that's how far I go to make sure to use up my pencils. And it's actually pretty nice when you tape them together. So any of you short on supplies or you spend the money to buy the expensive supplies like the Prisma, I do have a fresh one ready to go. But there it is. That's a great trick to use, is tape two of your smaller pencils together. Probably something you use a lot with something you might not use as often, so that they're not both running down too small. Maybe not something too big either. So something right in the middle works out perfectly. And you can use up as much of the pencil as possible. So there it is. Retired. On to the next one. Alright, so we gotta do this lady's hair, and just looking back a little bit, I want to make sure that she has, let's give her some, let's go with some brown, I think. A lighter brown. Start off with that. We're a little bit early today. I actually had my teacher evaluation this morning with Mrs. Sod. So just like we have to check how you guys are doing, and you guys get grades for your projects and the things that you learn, teachers also get evaluated. We also get graded. I am not ashamed to say, I think I did pretty well. Looking forward to what might happen next year. They're still not sure. There's still a lot of planning going on. And I know they want to have a chance to meet with all the teachers to get our feedback too. There's so much to consider, you guys. It's going to be an interesting conversation, I think. This part just looked a little too plain for me, so I wanted to just sneak an extra little line in there. Now let that dry while I work on the other side. So yeah, there are lots of different plans happening in lots of different districts. I know I've talked about there was one district whose plan I liked, but every district is different. You know, you can't expect schools from different areas to be able to do the same thing, or that families from different areas can do the same thing. So there's still a lot to talk about. In the very least, we're probably going to be wearing masks. So hopefully you guys, if you don't have some already, we'll be looking into either buying some or people working together and making some. We don't know yet. Now, my sister talked about looking into our fabric options that we have. We have a lot of scrap fabric. So we might be getting into the mask game a little bit. My mother has been really on top of this. She has been making so many fantastic masks for her and the community out by where she lives, and for the nursing home where my grandma is at. Alright, so we'll start with that. I'm going to give her a little bit of this gold as well. Not too much, I'm just going to sneak that in. Just going to have a little bit of this, almost like a dark blonde. We got some other music on today. We've got some synthesizer tunes. I forget if I tried to play this before and whether or not it got whether I got copyright claimed or not. Hopefully it'll be fine. I'm not too worried. This is just kind of our chill day anyway. It's like a covered in gold lady. I was trying to peek at a picture of Saturn. And it's funny because I'm seeing there's some that have it kind of blue, there's some that have it kind of yellow. It's a little bit duller in color though, so it's giving me some ideas. For at least for coloring. That's almost not dark enough. We need a slightly darker, there we go. A little bit of a darker brown for these shadowy areas. A little darker areas. A little while ago, right after I finished my meeting, I heard a pair of very loud thumps from upstairs because I took my meeting in the basement. Since it's got the better setup for chatting and video conferencing, I got better light set up and don't have to worry about dogs running in and out or anything like that. So I went upstairs to be like, okay, what's going on? Why am I hearing all this thumping? It sounded like a body hitting the floor. I was like, what's going on? Came up. Both dogs are just flopped over, looking up at me. They kind of got that little bit of a guilty look, like, uh-oh, what's up, Mom? What's up, Mom? Nothing happened. I don't see anything wrong. Nothing has fallen over. They are both just lying there like they have been sleeping for the last hour. I'm like, you don't fool me for a second. One of y'all is playing games over here. Let's actually use, I'm going to use a little bit of this yellow to start blending. It's a bit of a pale yellow. It's got a little bit of white in it, so it tends to soften up colors as well. Then I'll sneak back in with the other ones. This is just to smooth everything over. And then it'll be a nice lighter highlight too. It's hard to believe, though, that next week is going to be June. We officially have about 2 more weeks left of school. 2 more assignments. Think of something good for you guys, don't worry. Still have to decide what to do for her jewelry too. I think we'll just have some fun with some other colors. What? That startled me. It's a new song that I added to this track, and I haven't listened to this playlist in a little while. So I forgot that I had a Darth Vader sneaking in, if you guys could hear it. I don't know if you could or not. Music's not loud. It's my synthesizer mix. So it's all like, well, I mean, it's synthesizer, but it's all like good kind of dance music, I would argue. You guys probably wouldn't agree. You guys are, your younger generation, y'all have a different idea of what dance music should be. The answer is, the only real dance music is an 80s synthesizer. 80s synthesizer remix versions of whatever your song is. If you have a favorite song, you should see if there is an 80s synth remix. Or even just an 80s remix. 80s has great music. Blow off those. And I know there are people out there who would argue with me. But my opinion is more important. No, I'm just kidding. It's not. I'm just kidding. Synth music has great beats. It usually has a decent bass. And I love it. This would be the kind of music would be like the end of the day or even lunchtime, and I gotta get some stuff done. Like, I gotta get stuff done. I got work to do. I gotta be on my feet. I gotta be moving. This is not sit down and do grading kind of music. This is, we are cleaning the room. We are finding paintings. We are climbing on ladders to do whatever it might be. We are hanging up pictures. This is the get stuff done music, which I felt like I needed this Friday. This color is coming out super interesting. I'm not really sure what to make of it, but I'm here for it. Excuse me. I've got my big tea mug again, so as always, pardon for any slurping. The only problem with it is it has that little bit of an air bubble that will happen, and sometimes it gives me the burps. Don't mind me. Oh, here's some This is some synthesizer, you guys. I'm gonna turn that up for a second. I'm gonna get flagged. It's okay. Yes. This is a remix of a theme song from my video game that actually their remake just came out not too long ago. It's the Final Fantasy VII. And even when the original came out, one of the villains, a monster called Geneva, had this great music. And you know, this was this PlayStation 1. Yeah, this was PlayStation 1 era game. So the music was, you know, it was 8-bit kind of music. There's only so much that, you know, these guys could use. But it was such a well-made theme, worked so well with the 8-bit music. Became one of my favorite tracks from any video game. I'm pretty sure my sister has this music, not this specific song, but this theme as the ringtone when I call her. Don't do that. Just a little more of a shadow in there. Oh man, I'm gonna have to find an even faster version. This is a almost like a too slow version. Still great. I have a great version on my computer somewhere. I'll have to play for you guys at one point. When we're back to school, I will just torture you all with my video game soundtracks. How about that? You may request video game soundtracks too. I will listen to your soundtracks as well. Okay. Let's brush you off, my dear. Try to clean things up a little bit. Excuse me, pencils. Excuse me, pencils. Get off the paper, please, so I can clean you off. There she is. Beautiful little hippie lady. It's like I've got the hippie and I've got the punk rocker. Where's some of the other ones? Ugh. So she's got some bright colors too, kind of similar to our sun girl here. There was sun and moon. And then this nice trio of Mercury and Venus and Lady Earth. I still need to do some more pen on her, it looks like. There's some on there, but it needs a little better handling. But not too bad. That's a pretty thanks, YouTube Music. Thanks, YouTube Music. All right, so let's just do it. I feel like, okay, these guys had thin enough poses that I was able to fit 3 on a paper. I might, like, Mercury would just barely be able to fit in there, but Saturn is a larger planet. Not huge, but I just had Mars take up too much space. All right, that's it. Just, you know what it means. It just means I'm gonna need some more paper. So I have this big, nice drawing sketchbook with large paper. I'm gonna take it out though, so that I'm not leaning my arm on this edge, because that would be painful. Very careful, rip that out. Okay. All right, fresh paper. Move the others to the side. All right, so we've got Saturn, which will be followed by Neptune afterwards. I'm going to bring it up a little bit higher for just the sketching part, so you can kind of see how that goes. Look at that, you can get a little glimpse of my computer there. Okay, so of course, planet Saturn is most famous for its rings. It's got a little bit of striping that happens, but not too much. And we've talked about the symbols and stuff too. Planet Saturn symbol. Where's my scrap paper? There's our scrap paper. Okay. So, planet Saturn looks a little bit like this. It's like a plus sign with almost a number 2. Yeah. In some cases. In some cases it's 2. It looks like in other versions it's almost like a curly. Or even just whoosh. But this actually looks like a Japanese letter, so we're going to stay away from that. We'll go with a little bit more of a curly, because this number 2 shape is a little bit too similar to Jupiter. So, back to the paper. Back to planet Saturn. Let me get I want to get the picture of Saturn up on my screen without blocking chat. Just in case. You never know. All right. Thank you for your patience in that. All right. So for Saturn, she's got the rings. I want her to feel a little bit grand. So I want her to have a pose. I'm going to grab my little dolly. I want her to have a pose that kind of reflects that as much as I can. Oh, what is your arm popping out? Girl, look at that. What do I have that can push that back in? Oh, that's not good at all. Wonder how that even happened. Come on. Alright, it's going to be stubborn. I'll have to fix it a little later. Or it's just going to pop all the way out now. Great. Time to buy another one. We'll see. Alright. Come on. There we go. Saved. Okay. Alright. So far, with the ones we have a... We don't need this song right now, thank you. Not quite ready for Halloween yet. We talked about it yesterday. It's almost Halloween. Alright, so we've had a couple of more power stances. We've had some hands on the hips. Want to avoid that. We've had a little bit of softer and fancy looking. We want her, though, to feel a little bit more grand. Oh, just having my other pictures out in handy, kind of spreading them out so I can see them. Or maybe we're just going to do something that's almost a little bit awkward. Some kind of lean position. There we go. I like how that looks. Look at this cool little stand. So it comes with all these different hands, so you can change the hand model. It's got all sorts of accessories because these are meant to, you can pose them. It comes with its own little laptop. It's an old cell phone, a flip phone if you're doing something older. It's got a little cell phone, a little tablet, a little pen tool. It's got a samurai sword. It does have a little pistol as well. So if you're trying to do like action poses and fight scene poses, you can have that. And then it has the actual stand that twists around. It's got cool little grabby arms. Highly recommend this. This is goes by Body-chan and Body-kun. They are made by Bandai, Japanese company. So you don't even have to worry about getting them to stand up, especially if you're doing kind of a pose the way I am, where it's kind of like leaning a little bit. And I'm just gonna, you guys don't need to stare at the top of her head, so. Not gonna be quite as tall as Jupiter. Start off with the general shape of the head, and then I like to get kind of a feel for the spine. It's almost like stick figure, only without drawing the arms and legs coming out of the front. This also lets you, so her shoulders are not going to be too wide, but wherever you end the shoulders, that's kind of like a bit of a help for where the body is. And then when you draw the hips, that lets you connect where the body is to the bottom of the hips. Kind of get an idea of where her ribs are. And then that's where the legs will end up going. So we've got a bent knee and a straight leg. So again, I like doing a little bit of a stick figure-esque outline, and then I will go over it again to start and get the rest of the shape of it. Just general shapes. I'm just going with what our hands were in the doll's pose too. Might change them later, we'll see. So with this as well, you always make sure that the hips are a little bit past where you drew the stick part, because that's where the bone is. And then you have the muscle, and then the rest of the thighs should be right from the middle, like they're as if you'd followed the spine down. This is going to have a little more crossover here. That leg's a little long though. So here's another thing you can use. Pencil as a ruler. Pencil is earlier. That's where the heel should be. Where's my eraser? Eraser, where did you go? You are needed. There you are. It was hiding. It was hiding under a bag of birds. Not actual birds, paper cranes. I still have to finish working on those. I mean, I've gotten a couple hundred already done, but I do want to eventually finish my idea of getting 1,000 of them. Listen to that beautiful synthesizer go. Her hips actually seem a little bit too high. So I'm going to bring that down just a little. That's better. That's better. I will see a lot of students sometimes when they're drawing, especially legs, is not realize just how wide our thighs are and tend to draw them as skinny as their arms, which should not be the case at all. We're going to give her a bit of a down tilted head. Most of the heads have been an up tilt. Looks like my internet's having a little trouble connecting. Why are you having trouble connecting, internet? It looks like it's still recording fine, so that's good. Just my computer being a bummer then. Let me actually bring you a little closer so you can see what's going on with the face here. It's got a very sharp kind of face. Give her a little more lip. And she's gonna have some eyebrows, you guys. There's something fancy going on there. All right, now, ever important is the headpiece. Let's do something a little bit closer. Now let's see. Most of them had kind of vaguer symbols. Didn't outright do their actual symbol. So here's the thing about the symbol for Saturn. Saturn is the Roman name for the Greek god Cronus. Cronus. Okay. Same as Saturn. Okay? He was the god of the harvest. Now, sometimes he gets confused as being the god of time, which he is not. The god of time is Kronos. Very slightly different. He is time. He is harvest. Okay? Now, that's something that can kind of get lumped in together, not only because their names are so close, but because as the god of the harvest, that does have a lot to do with time. It does have a lot to do with the calendar and the life cycle and all of those things. When it comes to harvesting, farmers would use a tool called a scythe, which is a curved blade with the blade on the inside, and they would use that to sweep through and cut down the wheat as they were doing their harvest at the end of the year as a farming tool. When the two of them became more associated, that weapon also started to get associated with the god of time. And it became more of a weapon idea. And with time became something of the enemy in a way, and began to be associated with more ideas like of death. So that's why you'll see Grim Reaper. It's kind of a character that you see in a lot of movies where they're trying to depict how like the Grim Reaper shows up to collect souls. So the scythe became associated with him. So if you see at Halloween these hooded figures in black robes carrying this long curved blade, that has gotten associated with the idea of death, which it wasn't originally. It was originally went back to the god of time, who got mixed up with the god of the harvest, and that was a tool meant for harvesting wheat and plant life. Ta-da! I just taught y'all some history. So, having that in mind, the symbol is meant to mimic that tool. It is meant to look like the curved blade used around harvest time. So maybe, let's have a little fun with it. It's probably going to come out looking a little bit Jupiter-ish, but if I flip it over, I think that could be interesting. Or, what if we bring that shape around here? I got it. Don't worry, I got it, you guys. I got it. I figured it out. We're getting back into that whole asymmetry talk. There it is. That's what we're going to do. Figured it out. Figured it out, guys. I'm going to wrap that around her eye. This side won't have something nearly as big. It's a little bit lopsided, but that's asymmetry. And then we'll bring that up. Now, here's you got to be careful, because if you put a big plus sign up at the top of it, people are going to see that as being like a cross. Hey, Kenneth, good morning. Nice to see you again. I don't want this to feel too much like a cross, though. What if I improvise? Let's play for a second, you guys, and see how this kind of comes out. Just try to build a shape that can feel a little bit like that. Look at that. Okay. Are you guys seeing it? Are you seeing? Kind of the same way we handled Mercury's crown. It was almost like a deconstructed version of her symbol. This is working. This is working. This is working for me. Now, the part of this that's going to be the fun part. This is Saturn. We need stripes. We need she is going to be stripes and rings everywhere. Everywhere. For her hair, let's keep it, we're going to keep it close. I'm going to give her these two, almost like buns. One on each side. I don't want to go too loose with it. She's almost having, it almost looks a little bit Hindu? A little Hindu inspired. Oh, I put too much sugar in my tea today, guys. I'm going to be bouncing around. It's okay. It's okay. So, two things that are going to happen with this outfit. I have now just decided. We are going to keep these kind of curving, almost scythe shapes. And we are going to give her a ton of rings. Rings and stripes 4 days. Let's see. Just pulling up a little something to get some inspiration. So I'm going to start off with, let's give her, I'm going to give her some cool shoulder pad things. Blame it on the 80s if you want. That's okay. I will admit to having owned shirts that had shoulder pads in them. We thought it looked good. I think, honestly, I think women liked having them because it gave our shoulder appearance something that looked a little more masculine. And since this was a time when women were starting to especially break away and start to get into the workplace more, it was important to have that kind of a look. We wanted to give the appearance of being tough. We know better now. We know we're tough. All right, so some cool little shoulders, and then we're going to give her some... Oh, and we'll have to remember to have the fringe in here. Maybe that'll go on the shoulders. I won't go into it too much. We'll do a little bit here. Yeah, that's going to work. That's going to work. Okay, okay, guys. Okay, guys. We're going to do a couple little rings. She's going to have a nice little kind of crop top here, followed by a couple more stripies. So far, so good. A few little ones there. Okay. So some of our other ones have had big sleeves and stuff like that. This arm is too long. I've decided. A little too long. Okay. All right. So now we're gonna do some quick bangles. So this side, we're going to give her some loose ones. A couple of loose bangles. This hand, let's draw that out a little bit better now that we're working on it. I'm going to bring you guys in on a little more of a tilt again, so you can see the pencil work a little bit better. I know it's kind of a weird angle, but I know sometimes I end up covering a little bit too much with my hand, and it causes all of the focus to go all crazy. Pinky, you look super awkward. Don't do that. There you go. That's a little better. Okay. And on this hand, we're going to do tight, 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 tight. Rings and rings and rings all the way up her arm. We can put a little ring on our fingers. And we're going to put a few up around her neck. Let's just have that entire spot be more rings. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. I'm going to give her some little shorty sleeves. So, things to remember. Depending on which way your arms are going. If they're going away from the body, like they're going back, draw them curve this way. If they're going up and over, coming towards you, they go that way. Enough with the commercials. Thank you. Okay. So, let's see. I'm just taking peeks at some references really fast, just to get some ideas. Okay, I'm going to put a couple of stripes going this way. Now, in most of the previous girls, there were a lot of designs where I would do these little stripy things, and they would have some kind of a pattern with them. So, for example, bringing them back real quick. So Mercury had this repeating pattern of the plus sign and the little curl to kind of mimic her symbol. Venus, same thing. She got hers broken up into little squares to kind of be like the plus sign from her symbol. Earth Lady, she had her symbol, which is the plus inside the circle, which is on her crown, and it's kind of repeated in a little bit of her skirt here. But she had this little repeat happen of these leaves for her kind of wild plant nature. For Saturn, rather than going with the symbol, we're just going to go with the fact that Saturn has rings. It is a ringed planet. So I'm going to do rings everywhere. She gonna get, though, the last girl had some excellent bell bottoms on. This time around, though, she gonna get these poof pants. I got that in there? No, of course I don't. Allow me to move the camera for you, as I forget how streaming works. So, it's gonna be a little bit Princess Jasmine. A little bit Jasmine. And of course, because this is our other thing, all the themes, all the themes that are repeating now in these. We're going to try and draw toes. And a nose, and then the other foot. It's a little bit awkward since this one is facing forward. Alright, it's not awful. It's not awful. I'm okay with it. Add the poof. Add the poof. And again, we're into some asymmetry as well. So let's put in a couple little stripies here, like little tighter bands across the leg. And on this one, we'll have just a couple, just a pair down here at the knee. Okay. So, next, backing it up a little bit. Let's see. I want to give her let's just do that. Oh, let's do it like this. Hold on, hold on. Redo. Redo. I want this to go down and around and back up. Just like a interesting little, not quite a skirt. It's not really a skirt. It's just a cool bunch of fabric there. And then we start the stripes. So she'll have this kind of belt, essentially. This will be even more like the rings going around her. Music, what happened? Can't kill the music before the stream is over. Yes, we're still watching. Thank you very much. Just out of curiosity. Checking. All right. That was the third one. And a third one in here. I won't do the whole thing. I just want to get a really nice sense of, yeah, that really cool kind of swoop happening. That's pretty cool. All right, and we're gonna do the, we already said we'll do the fringe on the awesome shoulder pads, and we'll do it around the tummy here too. Yes, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing, guys. Get a little sip of tea. All right. Time to do the inking. I'm gonna use that. I'm using one. Yeah, that's fine. That was an oops. Did you see it happen? It's okay. No panic. Just fixing it. I'm not quite sure what this shape really is. There's a little bit of it that feels like the scythe does, but not quite. But I like it. I like it either way. I would make all of these crowns though. I'm just saying, I would make them all. And I would find excuses to wear them. I would probably just wear them to school. Eventually everyone would get used to them and be like, so which one is this? Which planet is this? Alright. I'm about to mess up your view a little bit, guys. I'm sorry, but in order to do all of these stripes, I have to turn it. I just have to turn my paper so that I can follow along and get these in really nice lines. I just have to use the extension of my wrist to do the curving to help them come out one side and then the other. And you can see, even though I was trying to keep them even, one side lines does not quite match up with the other, so it's a good thing that I did it this way. There we go. Alright. I'll swing her back around. I like this face she's doing. Kind of wanted to give her these heavy looking eyes too. This is the one that, this would be your buddy that he would say something that would be totally not true, and she would just give you that look that, I know you're full of baloney right now. Don't even try it with me. She's quick. She's a smart cookie. She's the one who won't let you get away with anything. If you say you're going to do something, she's going to be like, you're going to do it then. Okay, let's get epic shoulder pads next. Okay, and then we're going to go in and do the neck, which is pretty much just going to be more of these stripes all the way around. Gotta move slow, take her time. Okay. Back up and get this hair, girlfriend. A couple of stripes in there to show that it's wrapped. So like that wraps it and around. And then her sleeve, and we'll add a little stripe on that. Okay, and get part of her arm here. She's got some thinner arms. She's no nonsense, but she's definitely not like, she's not a scrapper. You know what I'm saying? Mars is definitely a scrapper. She is the one that sees somebody trying to pick on you, and she'd be like, hold my purse. I'll take care of it. She's the friend you gotta hold back. Probably Jupiter. Jupiter would be the one holding her back. She's a little more peaceful. But while Jupiter is holding Mars back, Saturn comes in and just rips you apart verbally. She's the one that would just say a couple words and everybody around would just be going, oh, burned. That's her. She's the master of the sick burn, bro. I am so sorry that I dated myself that much, but I'm also not sorry. One of the funniest things in the world is when you say something and the kids are like, oh my gosh, you're so old. And you try to explain to them. They don't want to hear it, of course, because everything they do, everything you guys do, you students of mine, everything you do is cool, right? We all felt that way. We all said, sick burn, dude. And that was cool. And our little kids, you guys, you said that when you were little, probably. Maybe not exactly that, of course, but something similar. And then it would change. Things would go from, that's so bad, to, that's bogue. Which y'all stole from us, bogue being bogus. And that turned into, that's ratchet. I remember when ratchet was the big thing. And it didn't make any sense, to be honest, because a ratchet is a tool. You use it for tightening up screws and bolts. So the idea that something that helps to tighten screws and bolts is a bad thing makes no sense. And no, I am not a boomer. Don't even try. I am a Zennial. Thank you very much. That is the term that I prefer. Zennial being not Generation X, which kind of ended right around the early 80s. Not Generation Y, which is the millennial generation, which starts in the mid to late 80s. I am the generation right in between, where when we were born, everything was cassette tapes and VHS, and my dad owned a vinyl record player. But by the time I got into high school, the internet became a thing. Cell phones started to get spread out to the point where people could buy them. And I mean like people like in real people, not like top 1% billionaire types. Kenneth, tubular is one of the best words, just saying. Ninja Turtles, man. Ninja Turtles formed so much of our vocabulary. Just saying. I'm just saying. Time for some fringe. I won't go the whole way because that's going to hide too much of the stripes. So we'll say it's about halfway fringe. And then we're going to sneak in and put in a few shorty ones just at the back side. So it looks like it's going around and behind her. There. All right. We're just going to pause there, though, because it's creeping up on 11. I've been going at it for a little bit long. Oh, my gosh. Kenneth, you're killing me with these. Most Triumphant. That was Bill and Ted. Tubular. That was another Ninja Turtle. My go-to, I'll just say this. My go-to was always Radical. Radical, dude. It's totally Radical. Or sometimes Boss. Boss was another one. Bossa Nova. All right, so we finished up. Let me bring her back. Review. Finished up lovely Jupiter. Whoa, camera. That was not me. That was the arm. Ooh. It just dropped, didn't it? All right, I'll have to tighten that up. Sorry, guys. Jupiter. And started a very serious Saturn. I like it. All right, so guys, I will see you on Monday with a brand new assignment. I hope you guys have a really fantastic weekend. Enjoy the cooler weather. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of sun. It's supposed to be a bit rainy, but hopefully we'll get a little bit of sunshine for us to enjoy the outside. And in the meantime, I'll be grading projects and checking your emails and all that good stuff. So everybody stay safe. Keep washing your hands. Keep your masks on. Keep yourself and your family and your loved ones all safe. And I will talk to you guys next week. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye-bye.